What's up, everybody? We are back again and we're working on W bodies again. Today, in this episode though, what I'm doing on the Problem Child 97, it has aftermarket springs. If you remember from the previous video I did on these springs, I did not put better struts on it, which I should have. They're old and they're worn out and the springs pretty much did them in. But in addition to that, the strut mounts have gone completely to pieces, which is also my fault. I take full responsibility. I bought cheap strut mounts when I shouldn't have probably, but regardless, I found a new supplier and today we're going to be replacing struts and strut mounts. And this tutorial will be good for basically all second gen W bodies. Okay, so first we're gonna head over to the table. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna be putting on. Okay, so since I was badly in need of both strut mounts and struts, I decided to buy these as quick strut assemblies. However, since I'm not running stock springs, I don't plan on using these springs. I will show you how to swap all that over here in just a minute. Now, as far as brand goes, I'm trying something new and I'm mostly just doing this as a test thing and because I needed it and the price was ridiculous. This company, Detroit Axle, makes a lot of different kinds of suspension and drivetrain components, and their prices are really good to say the least. So I got a hold of these. I'll link where you can get them, but for the most part they look like pretty decent units. So we are going to try them out today and find out if they are. So of course, the first step is raise and support the vehicle. If you're working on it on a jack, make sure you put jack stands under it. Never get under a car that's only supported by a jack. That's dangerous. Secondly, take the wheel off, already done that. Then on each side, on the bottom, these are super easy to replace. All you're gonna do is you're gonna take the nuts off of these bolts. Then these aluminum factory bolts, actually you just hit them right here and knock them through. They're splined on the other side, so you don't have to worry about that side spinning unless someone has stripped them out. Now on my car, I already have camber adjustment bolts, so what I've done to try to make sure I get these back as close as possible is I've marked them in several different places just so I know the position of all of these parts prior to taking them off, so that when I put them back, I can put them back the same way. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get these two bolts out. Once these bolts are out, you just push the strut straight back and pull the knuckle forward slightly. The two of them will separate. And then once they're separated, you're just gonna leave it down here and we're gonna go up top. Okay, on the top, there's gonna be 3 nuts that you're gonna take off. Just make sure when you take the last one off, you've got one hand under the side to catch the strut because it's going to try to fall out. Okay, if you're doing quick strut assemblies like this, then you can skip right to the reassembly part at this point because there's nothing else to do. This whole piece will just bolt right in. Now, since I'm swapping springs, I have to disassemble this to change the springs out. If you're going to do that in your application, take note of the direction this wedge shaped piece is in here. That is the same angle as this. Don't put those in backwards because for one, the spring won't fit worth anything, and for two, it could actually cause the mount to fail. It can break stuff. So that's the next step. Is now we're going to need to compress this spring. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this. If you're doing it at home, odds are you're going to have to buy the kits that attach here and pull the spring together, which is fine. But I'll show you what we do at the shop. So this is what we use at work. And this is just here to keep this from spinning because sometimes when it's compressed, this will try to turn and shoot out the bottom, and we don't want that to happen. But basically, this big rig is wall mounted and allows you to compress the entire strut. with very little likelihood of you losing a finger, which is why I like it. So the next thing I'm gonna do now that that's compressed is we're just gonna take this one central nut off, pull the strut out the bottom. Okay, and basically what I did, I aligned everything, stood over it, pushed straight down, started that nut, and then just ran it down snug, making sure that this wedge is in the right way. And then once that is lined up, we just go back over to the car to get it put back in. So then you're going to basically have to stick it under here with one hand, push them through and start a nut with the other hand. Here you can also see I have swapped my anti-pogo washers onto this one. Quick tip for you if you need anti-pogo washers and you don't want to spend a lot of money, these are basically just front subframe washers. You can get them off of any W body in a junkyard for pretty much next to nothing. So then you're just going to snug these nuts, make sure they're all tight. Then we're going to go down here and put these bottom nuts back in. Then I just reinstalled the two bottom bolts and nuts, trying to make sure that I lined everything up as close as I could to where it came off from. Then the final step, we're gonna get these wheels back on, which we're then gonna torque these lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds. And here she is, back on the ground, back in one piece. Now we just need to go test drive this thing. So after a quick test drive, a trip home, and a shower, I think I can say conclusively that the car does feel better. There is still a strange sort of a pop in the front somewhere that I originally thought was coming from the strut mounts, but apparently is not whenever you accelerate or brake. So I'm gonna have to look into that more. That'll be another video though. But as far as this tutorial goes, we're finished. So make sure if you learned something to hit the like button down below. If you didn't like this video, hit the don't like button. Also, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And if you're already subscribed, make sure you've hit the bell icon so that YouTube will notify you when I upload. If you don't, they won't. And remember shirts, that link will be at the end of the video if you want to help support the channel. Other than that though, I am out of here for this one and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.